Hello there to all you bucketheads, and welcome to all of our foundlings. This is the most disorganized podcast on the internet. Under the Helmet Podcast. Woo! If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can be notified when we go live Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. While you're at it, give us a follow on Instagram so you can stay updated with us and the show. Today, we are talking about why Star Wars is so much more than just the movies. But before we get started with that, Eli, how you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. I was excited about this one when we just got discussed, what we were doing because I feel like this one is one that, at least for me personally, I've had a lot of fans who think that it's just either just the movies or, even worse, just the original trilogy. So I feel like we can bring to light a lot of the stuff that is brought into the universe via the animated TV shows and everything that's not just the main movies.
Absolutely. So, I wanted to start off this episode with a very simple premise, simple question. So, a friend of mine a few weeks back, believe it or not, I have friends that aren't like devoted Star Wars fans. But he comes to me and he says, "Hey, my girlfriend and I want to rewatch the movies. We're gonna do a Star Wars movie rewatch. What order do you rewatch it? Like, when you rewatch the movies, what order do you rewatch them in?"
I feel like that's
So I
different
thought
depending
that'd
on
be
the
a great
person.
question to pose on the podcast. What's up, Callahan and Magnus? How's it going?
Our
Also, we are
boys.
live on TikTok as well for the first time. So hello everybody here on TikTok. If you're here, give us a shout out in chat. And if you are on TikTok, you can join us on YouTube right now under the Helmet Podcast. You type it in. There's also a link in my TikTok bio. So I'm gonna put that link in me bio. I'm currently
There
updating
we
a
go.
Google slide while doing this because I am what you call talented. Join us on YouTube under the Helmet Podcast. Let me put a little thingy, make it bigger right there. So, what order do you watch in? If you're gonna rewatch the Star Wars movies, what order do you rewatch in?
Um, I mean, I always grew up with watching them. Well, actually, I can't say I grew up watching them in a specific order. I was told that it's 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and then you just kind of throw Solo and Rogue One in there somewhere. And
Okay,
me
because what they're
personally,
doing is they're. Oh,
I'd
sorry. Go ahead.
I'd like to watch them in like the chronological order of the timeline because I don't think I've ever actually done that. Granted, I've also just watched everything as it's come out. So
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. When I watch the movies, I tend to watch them in sort of in this order of, hey, I want to watch a Star Wars movie. I pick a movie and I watch it. Now, if I was
yeah,
going to sit down and do a full rewatch, because I know the story, I would watch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and along the way, I would do in between 3 and 4, I would put Solo and Rogue One. But that's just me personally.
yeah,
But also, I wanted to mention. So whenever I told him if you're going to be watching them like for the first time, sometimes release order is better, so you get that full picture and you understand all those references. But they've both seen the movies before; they've just been doing a rewatch. So I said, in that case, but if you had somebody who was a Star Wars fan who's never seen Star Wars, and I want kind of chat to weigh in on this too. If have somebody who's not a Star Wars fan, has never seen a Star Wars movie in their lives, what would you tell? How would you tell them to watch it?
ooh,
Like they said, hey, I want to get into the Star Wars thing. Where should I start? Live by chaos.
honestly,
I want to pull up Magnus's quote right here. He says live by chaos. Use a random number generator and decide your order.
Oh God,
Honestly, that would actually be really fun. If we had to do like a charity like watch party, that would be a lot of fun.
I'd like that. I want to do
That'd be a lot
charity
of fun.
events on this so bad. I think that'd be
Me
fun.
too. Once we get big enough, we will definitely be doing charity events.
Charity live streams. Let's go. Let's go.
I feel like I'm more normally go numerically one to 9 when I watch them. Also, I've also watched it by release date, but I feel like I normally go numerically. I would agree. I would agree with this, Callahan. You don't miss much by not watching Solo, but also Solo is such a fun like palate cleanser, especially if you're like, hey. So if you're watching them like numerical order with Solo and Rogue One in the middle, you've got Revenge of the Sith, which ends on this very
Dark.
dour, sad note, and whenever you have that sad note that you end on, it's almost like, okay, I've you've got this sad dour note. Let me switch it up. Let me go to something that's a little bit more
And now
fun,
for
a little bit
something
more
entirely
fun.
different.
Here we go. Solo. You're still in the timeline. You've got Solo, and then right after that is Rogue One. So you go from like this lighthearted like romp of like, I was worried there for a minute, but we're fine. We're all fine now.
We're fine.
Before they get almost eaten by the maw. Love Solo. Such an underrated Star Wars movie.
Arguably one of my favorites. It is at the top of my list. Callahan says no offense because he knows that it's at the top of my list and it's not at the top of his.
So I slept on Solo when it first came out, and I'm one of those people that says, I made a mistake when I did that. But now that we've kind of gotten past the movies, our watch order, I think you can definitively say, watch it however you want. Do what makes you happy. It's a palate cleanser, I agree. So if I need the lightheartedness between Solo and Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One, that's the best way to do it, is you get that lighthearted little palate cleanser along the way. But I wanted to jump right into a topic that's pretty hardcore, I'm going to say. So for years before Disney bought Star Wars, there was Star Wars Legends. We've made it no secret on this podcast that we don't necessarily prefer Legends. We prefer canon to Legends. But with that being said, we're not Legends haters. We don't dislike Legends in this community. We think everybody should be allowed, even though we're not exactly the biggest Legends fans. I own a few Legends books. There's one Legends book I've been trying to find recently. So if anybody knows where to find Death Troopers, hit me up. I want that book. And this is the one with the basically Star Wars zombies. Have you read Death Troopers or heard about it?
I started Death Troopers. It got interrupted so I could read the Imperial Handbook.
Dude, Death Troopers is so good. I've been watching like a recap video of it so for some reason I went down this rabbit hole when I was in like middle school, and I found all of the Death Troopers audiobook on YouTube, but it was in sections. I cannot find it nowadays. If I type it in, I can't find it. I don't know if it was drowned out by their algorithm or copyright struck. I don't know. All I know is that, man, it was good. Such a great story, such a great book. Honestly, my favorite part about Death Troopers is that just out of the blue, Han Solo and Chewbacca are just there. And they're in jail because they got busted. Death Troopers is one of those books. So what are some of your favorite Legends stories? I'll say. What are some of your favorites? Because the title of this is Star Wars More Than the Movie, so I wanted to touch on some Legends as well.
So some of my favorite Legend stuff, I did personally. I've only read very little of it, but I thoroughly enjoyed Darth Bane. Book Darth Bane. Knights of the Old Republic is it's one of my favorite Star Wars games out there. I absolutely loved Republic Commando and would love to see more of that. Let's see. because we're long overdue for a designated single player Star Wars first person shooter, and I'm going to be completely honest. There is no gameplay like Republic Commando. There's no game that's like that. It's very, you have to play it tactical with your squad based game. Like you have the squad under your command. There's no multiplayer aspect other than essentially Halo Slayer matches, which was kind of cool if the servers weren't all shut down.
Absolutely. So I never played Republic Commando. So the only, I believe, Legends game I played was like a retelling of the Phantom Menace. It was an old Xbox game. It was called Obi-Wan, and you played everything from the perspective of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh wow!
It was super cool. It was a really fun like game, and I enjoyed playing it a lot. But at the end of the day, it wasn't my favorite. You know, I enjoyed it, but there's a couple other games I played that like, you know, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then there was what's this other game I had? We had this one game where you played as like fighter tanks. So you could play as like Republic tanks and Separatist tanks, which is like where the love. Yes.
Oh, I played that one. I have no idea what it was called.
I don't either. It was so much fun.
So
You
much
could play
fun.
you could play like the two-legged walker, or you could
Yep.
play the tank. And I mean, my dad and I would sit there and we would play that game for hours, and we would just like blow each other up, and you would like build bases, and it was so much fun.
Yep.
Is that World of Tanks? No, it's not Star Wars World of Tanks. Star Wars
Podcast
Tank
sponsor. I would take a podcast sponsor. I don't think we're beyond that.
I am very much I am very much down for a podcast sponsor. So, hey,
yeah.
World of Tanks, if you want to sponsor us.
I mean, we do have a commercial coming in the next couple episodes. We're going to start having a commercial break. Speaking of which, I'm going to be texting you about that because it's a really fun idea.
Okay, I'm interested. Thank you for. And this episode is sponsored by Star Wars Galaxy of Tanks, a total real game that definitely exists. If you want to play Star Wars Galaxy of Tanks, hit the link in our bio and use the code HELMET to join our Discord server. I don't even know what I just said there, but I said it.
This episode is sponsored by our new line of cologne. You can pick from the scents such as Dylan's rant counter, Eli's face reveal,
Shiny boy,
shiny
shiny bucket. We also have Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett.
We also have a new calendar coming out called The Helmet Stays On, Christmas themed firefighter edition, where it's us in just random locations,
the helmet stays
dressed
on.
like firefighters with helmets on. Can't miss it. That'll be coming out on Christmas time. So if you're interested, hit us up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, people on TikTok, if you like the audio, you would love to see this video over on YouTube. Come check us out.
Are you audio only on TikTok?
Yeah, it's audio only. So I have it on a little screen that says join us on YouTube under the Helmet Podcast. So they are only hearing the audio right now. So if you want to see video, if you want to see, I'm going to turn the camera real quick behind the scenes. If you want to see this right here, this beautiful thing, gotta come join us on YouTube. Now, with that being said, so we talked about a little bit about Legends. Let's talk about what this episode was originally going to be about, Star Wars animation. And we kind of changed it because we wanted to touch on everything. I'm going to pull up Gabby's comment. I'm blushing over here. I'm blushing. Il du fork bâtir for men. Hey, if you want to know what that means, you got to watch some of our older episodes where I talk about biting forks. So if you want to go down a YouTube rabbit hole and find out where the fork biter myth comes from, go do that. And while you're at it, subscribe to the page. Subscribe to
Once
the
we
channel.
get a merch shop open, we need to have a fork biter T-shirt.
Absolutely.
That'll be with your face on there.
Absolutely. So now that we've gone, let's delve into animation a little bit. So I want to start with the 2003 Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, baby, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Because 1313 podcast just did a review of the the Tartakovsky Grievous Black Series figure that just came out. And let me just say,
Wait, what?
beautiful figure. If you're not subscribed to the 1313 podcast, go ahead and check that out. Announcement coming soon. We will be doing have a chat with them pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Shout out 1313.
How
They're
does a
super
Have
cool.
a Chat differ from a Worlds Collide episode?
Have a chat's on their channel. Words Collide is on ours.
Ah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Wink. Also, so 2003 Clone Wars introduced such cool concepts like the ARC Troopers, the Clone Wars, Dirge, General Grievous. I remember, this is the first time we saw Grievous, in a property, because before that, this show came out 2003. Grievous was 2005 in Revenge of the Sith. So, what does that tell you?
He was a horror movie monster in 2003.
He was on something else. I mean, just absolutely. I mean, let's think. He beat up how many named characters? He beat up Kiadi Mundi, Shaak Ti, Ayla Sakura, the gremlin looking dude, the guy who had the little fondue cap on his head. He basically, those two guys died. The last two guys I mentioned died. And then there's also one of my favorite Legends characters where they had to eliminate him quickly, because if not, he would have just soloed Grievous.
Jedi
Shaggy.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know, Shaggy is by far one of the most powerful Jedi in all of Star Wars. He was just a Padawan at the time. But if grown to his full potential, he would have soloed the entire Chosen One. Honestly, Shaggy built different.
Truly.
He could have used a fraction of his power to win the Clone Wars and expose Palpatine. That's why they had to take him out. They knew he was too powerful. He let it happen, though. He was bored.
It was all a plot by Darth Sidious.
It was all a plot. Exactly. So moving on to 2003 Clone Wars, which was just amazing, in my opinion. Let's talk about the other Clone Wars.
Also,
we were just speaking about the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars, which is done in the same art style as Samurai Jack. I dropped my lightsaber. But also, I was fiddling with the Lego, but I dropped the lightsaber on the floor, so I had to pick that up, of course. But speaking of Genndy Tartakovsky, how can we forget Asajj Ventress, also introduced?
Oh yes, Ventress made her first appearance.
Yes. Absolutely. So she was insane. Watching Ventress in Anakin's fight is one of my favorite Star Wars fights to this day.
That's where he gets his
But then you gotta talk about 2008 Clone Wars. Why should people watch it?
It's good. Are we talking about the movie or
the movie? Is I actually rewatched it. It's not as bad as most people say. It's actually a pretty fun movie.
Yeah.
If you can look past the silliness of it. If you can look past the silliness of that show,
it was early,
of that movie, then you can go back and rewatch it. And the first couple seasons of Clone Wars can be a little rough at times. We will admit, can be a little rough. Therefore, we said it.
Nothing is.
But late season 2, actually, I would even say, season 2, really, it starts to pick up because we've got episodes like Brain Invaders. We've got the whole Geonosis arc.
Honestly, nightmares from Brain Invaders. Yeah, oh my god.
Me too. I had nightmares from Brain Invaders. Absolutely. I had nightmares from Death Troopers. Mostly. Death Troopers was genuinely scary. Like there's a dark room sitting right off camera. And let me just say, if a zombie stormtrooper comes out and tries to bite my face off, beware. That joint is scary.
You best be reaching for Chopper at that point. R2 can't save you.
Yep, R2. Well, no, because I keep my saber close by. I've got a saber.
He keeps that thing on him.
I got a saber within arm's reach. But yes, so going forward. So let's talk about Rebels a little bit.
It's good.
Rebels is another great show.
Hey, look at that. We got a bot.
Okay. That is that's nice. So glad to see that. For those of you, we're gonna go ahead and hit you with a hashtag block. Don't click the link, it'll make you install Candy Crush.
Or worse, Farmville.
Yeah. Oh God. Ugh. For those of you who are on TikTok and couldn't see what just happened, we had our first spam bot pop up. Naked HD XYZ online chicken strips without clothing. Cool. Yeah. Hashtag blocked. Get out of our chat. RIP L plus ratio bozo. Nobody wants to go to your spam website. Data has been sold.
been sold to Disney.
No.
No.
Disney's already had our data.
Sidekick
Disney
Red,
had
no.
your data as soon as you logged into Disney Plus. Honestly, Disney's had my data since like I ordered my Jedi robes off Shop Disney. Okay, they've had my data for so long. It's just is what it is at this point. Also, want to briefly touch on Bad Batch before we get out of the animation category. The Bad Batch, I like it.
It's good.
I want to see more. I want more. I know I shouldn't.
We're getting more. We're getting a second season.
More. Where's the announcement second season, Disney? I know we have Kenobi. I'm very excited for Kenobi, but I want more.
Also, I may be having to head out soon.
All right. Before we get going, I wanted to touch on this real quick. So
I know it's unfortunately a very short episode.
Whoop! What the world? Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there?
Yeah, like my thing just like swoop and then came back up real quick. Wait, actually, Sidekick Red has a good point. He says they always bring the bots. Yep. And you know what we do to clankers in this chat? We blast them for the Republic. Wow.
Damn straight.
Oh shoot! I didn't know the batteries in this thing still work. We blasted the clankers for the Republic.
They're back.
Oh, dang, Ferric. How many of these fuckers do we have? All right.
The Empire's back.
Get out of my chat, losers. Error occurred. Try refreshing the page. All right. I'm just why do they have to show up in my chat like this? Like what the H double heck? Block. Put user in timeout. They're in timeout now. Bad people in timeout. L plus ratio bozo. All right, so
go to the timeout box.
Yes. Before we get going, I know you said you get going pretty soon. So Eli's gonna go short. I'm gonna go a bit longer talking with chat. So I want to go ahead and pull up real quick figure of the day.
Ooh, figure of the day. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Of the day today. I'll let you go first.
So for today's fig, I have me.
Nice. He got a sword.
It is a little tiny me. He has a big old sword and a black suit. It is one of the various Elis of the multiverse that I have. There is an entire Eli verse of just
I like it.
Various multiversal Elis. This is one of the basic
question: ones. How did this fig come to be? How did you get the fig?
I built him when I was working at a Lego store.
Ah.
So we'd have minifigures on our aprons.
And that was the minifig you had in your apron.
Yep.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So I got to show off a little me. It took me ages to find the right head and hair.
I believe it. Yeah, I would love to have to go to. I would love to get a personal like sig fig one day. I've got the one that I've made from like spare parts over the years, but I'd love to get like a personal like sig fig.
There you go. It takes a second, but
yeah,
I could probably put one together for you.
My fig of the day, I want to bring up probably the most valuable minifig I own, Phase 2 Captain Rex. I don't think he'd be worth too much considering that he does have some yellowing on the plastic. When I kicked myself when I found out how much this figure was worth, and I realized he's up in the attic currently like yellowing, I like cried a little bit. And then I was like, hey, I want this figure just for me. But I did find there is a way to like somehow get the yellowing off without killing the paint job.
Oh, there you go.
So you have to like basically just soak it in like whatever this stuff is called. Hydrogen peroxide. Soak it in the peroxide in the sun. It should help take the yellowing out without interfering with the paint job too much.
There you go. Well, I've got to wrap things up. I'm sorry for having to go so quick. I've just got something I got to take care of. It's been wonderful seeing everybody as always. I'll catch y'all Thursday for a longer episode for Chapter 2 of Stephen Grant and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad night.
Yep. All right, man. Have a good one. Take it easy. I'll see you later.
Catch you around.
All right. Eli is gone, but guess what? I'm still here because this episode's not over. Can it not be so zoomed in on my face, though? Does it have to be like this zoomed in? Can I not get some... What's up, Ben Taylor? So Eli had to cut out a little bit earlier tonight, but I'm still here. And guess what? We are still doing... Let me see. Hold on. Group layout. I want crop layout. Yeah. Let me shift +2. Can I get it cropped a little bit so you can see my background? News layout. Oh well. Anyways, moving on. So we were talking a little bit about Star Wars animation, and now we moved on to Star Wars TV shows. So talk a little bit about Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and some of the future shows. So Mando, I've yet to meet one person who dislikes The Mandalorian and isn't like doing it for views, just to be like edgy. Like, oh, I don't like The Mandalorian because, you know, it's got cameos in it to other Star Wars properties. Who cares? It's a fun show. If you don't like it, leave. Don't watch it. Same with Book of Boba Fett. I know some Book of Boba Fett was a little more controversial because some people just didn't like it. Some people loved it. Some people didn't like it. Personally, I liked it. So with that, Book of Boba Fett, very cool. Enjoy. And then I wanted to briefly touch on, some of the books. So first off, we've got the High Republic. We've got, this massive multimedia project that doesn't involve a movie. And I believe what was the first? I believe Shadow of the Empire? That was the first. I was watching a video about this the other day. I think it was Shadow of the Empire, which was the first multimedia project to not involve a movie. It's the one with Dash Rendar. It's a Legends thing. So if anybody in here knows Legends, like, hey, what's up? But yeah, so basically Dash Rendar, it's the story of how he comes along, and it's set between Empire and Return of the Jedi. It's got Luke building his lightsaber. It's got Prince Seashore. I don't know. Zjor. I don't even remember how to say this dude's name. I'm blanking hard right now, everybody. Blanking hard. But yeah, so you've got the High Republic in these Legends books. And honestly, if you're a reader and you're into Star Wars, these books are for you. Like we talked very briefly about, Death Trooper is one of my favorite Legends books. Also, we've got great books like Kenobi. I'm trying to think what other books we have. We've got the Aftermath trilogy, Bloodline, all these great Star Wars books. Queen's Shadow, which I think just came out today, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of like new Star Wars books and Star Wars content out there that's not just a movie or in a visual medium. If you're a reader, they have reading. If you like TV shows, there's TV shows. If you like movies, you like movies. If you like canon stories, there's canon stories. If you like legend stories, there's legend stories. There's so much more to Star Wars than just this idea of what's shown in the films. And I think that it deters a lot of people are deterred by the sheer size of it all. But I think, you know what? At the end of the day, it's worth it to just go in and look into some of the stuff because you're gonna find stuff. And then also, I want to talk video games real quick. So we've got Legends games like KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, brilliant game. Haven't played it yet. Sorry guys, haven't played it yet, but it's on my list of games to play. And I would love to play KOTOR. It's one of those games that I think would be really cool and really fun to play. I have not got a chance. If I get a gaming system and we get big enough, might do a let's play. Might do a streaming play one night. Who knows? Sunday streams could become a thing. And then also I want to talk my favorite Star Wars video game today, Jedi Fallen Order. That game is just creme de la creme. Beautiful. Love Fallen Order. Love all the characters, love the story. I love everything about Fallen Order. It's one of those games that's just, man. It's just one of those games that literally could be like its own. I could go in details after details after details on Fallen Order because it's just such a fun story. Ben, you were the only one here. There should be some more other people around. I'm not sure. We had Sidekick Red, we had Gabby, we had Callahan for a little bit. I'm not sure where everybody went. Who knows? Who knows? Eli had to get going pretty quick, so I'm not sure where everybody else is. But if you're still here, sound off right quick. Say what's up. I know we had some technical issues where my something kind of rebooted earlier, so who knows? But also, I'm streaming to TikTok as well. So if you're here on TikTok, shout out for me real quick. If you're not on TikTok and you're not following me on TikTok, maybe you should. Dylan just cosplays. Just saying. I post a lot of goofy stuff. A lot more than Instagram too, because I actually just hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. So toot my own horn a little bit. Toot toot. But yeah, so if you like video games, there's games like Fallen Order, Battlefront 2. Star Wars is one of those things that has something for everybody. If you like something, Star Wars has something in that department, whether it be animation, a TV show, books, video games. We've even got an anime. We've got Star Wars Visions, an anime style show, which some people liked, some people didn't like. Personally, I would like to see a season 2 of Visions. I thought it was good. It was these nice little one-off stories that didn't really do anything, that they didn't impact the greater canon, but they were still so fun to watch. So whoever's still in chat, what was your favorite episode of Visions? Because honestly, Visions was very overhated in my opinion. My favorite episode of Visions is probably, I gotta think about this one for a second because I gotta think. I would have to say I think it's the Jedi. Not the one with the Master and the Apprentice. That's kind of everyone's favorite. That's a lot of people's favorite. I just really enjoyed it. But honestly, I also really liked TOB1, the one with the little droid. That one was so cool. It's such a cute little story. And he fights this badass Inquisitor and kills him. I thought that one was cool. Let me think. What else did there's honestly so much to Star Wars, and it is one of the most underrated Star Wars shows. Absolutely, Callahan. Visions is so underrated in the sense that a lot of people hated it just because they were kind of on that Star Wars hate train. But honestly, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Honestly, one of my more favorite episodes is. No worries about it. No worries about that, Ben. But yeah, one of my favorite episodes was Tatooine Rhapsody. The one that was had the little band. Everybody hated that one. I thought it was great. Peace out, Ben. I'll see you later. I'll talk to you later, dude. But yeah, honestly, all of these Star Wars shows, there's so much Star Wars content out there. And there's something for everybody. There's also, I didn't even touch on collecting. There's so much stuff you could do. You can collect minifigures. You can collect Legos. You can collect action figures. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but 1313 podcast, they do a ton of stuff with the Black Series collecting. And then there's Hot Toys. There's lightsabers. There's this whole niche market where there's a Black Series helmets. There's I've had this since 2008 when Clone Wars came out. There's so much that comes into Star Wars that isn't just in a movie. For example, if you are just a movie watcher, you don't know anything about characters like Cal Kestis, Kanan Jarrus, Revan. You don't know, when you see Maul pop up in Solo, you're like, what the hell, this dude was dead. Also, there's also the comics. How did I forget the comics? Dude, Star Wars comics are great. I'm kind of just rambling at this point, but honestly, there's so much good stuff with Star Wars. Let me think. What are some other characters that aren't in the movies? Ahsoka, Captain Rex. Just trying to think. The Bad Batch. You know, you have all these characters. You know, Duchess Satine of Mandalore, someone who's key to Obi-Wan's story. You never see them in live action, or not live action. You never see them in the movies. Bo-Katan, before Mandalorian, she was not a live action character. You know, you don't know that you miss out on the story of the Darksaber. If you watch just the movies, Anakin's fall is like, oh, he was a slave as a kid. He killed some sand people. He got married, and then all of a sudden he turned bad. But if you watch the Clone Wars, you can see his gradual decline to the dark side, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm trying to think what else. What else is there? Like, all right, I want to ask everybody in chat, who is your favorite Star Wars character who hasn't shown up in a movie? And this goes out to people on TikTok too. So if you're on TikTok and you say it, I'll shout you out. So, favorite Star Wars character who isn't in a movie. Personally, my favorite Star Wars character who's not in a movie, Kanan Jarrus. Kanan is such a great character and has such a great story that if you didn't watch the movies, or if you only watch the movies, I posted a TikTok today about Kanan. If you didn't watch Rebels, you have no idea who I'm talking about. Also, if you haven't watched Rebels and you saw my TikTok today, sorry for the big spoiler, bro. He kind of dies. He gets boom boomed. But yes, so anybody else got a character? Oh, if you don't watch the TV shows, you miss out on the Mandalorian, Grogu, all that stuff, like all the Grogu memes and stuff that was going on. You don't know what that means. You just think he's a cute little baby Yoda guy that eats frogs. Little do you know, he's one of the most interesting characters in Star Wars right now. That's another thing. You have all these interesting characters that are introduced in basically any Rebels character I'd love to see in a movie. So I want to pull up this real quick, Callahan. So any Rebels character you'd love to see in a movie. So technically, the only Rebels character to make a live action appearance right now, like in the main Ghost crew, I'm not talking like Bo-Katan is in Rebels, but the main Rebels character is Chopper. Chopper is in the background of Rogue One, if you look. And you can also see the Ghost in the Battle of Scarif. And there's a mention of a General Syndulla, who they're calling Tahara. But if you haven't seen Rebels, you don't know who General Syndulla is. Chopper is just a random droid in the background. So you miss out on so much, and there's so much that you don't appreciate because you haven't seen it, you haven't experienced it. And would it be great to see movies of these characters jump from animation to movies? Yes. All right. What is one character you guys want to see jump from a different medium to a movie? Like, personally, I'd love to see a Cal Kestis appear in either a movie or a show. Karen Monahan looked really good out at Galaxy's Edge holding that lightsaber. I'm just saying. Hypothetically. Cal Kestis at Galaxy's Edge. That Galaxy's Edge saber also looks really good. I've seen some reviews on it. Looks a little bulky though. Looks a little heavy, little thick. And that's the issue with some of the legacy sabers. Is they're kind of thick. But, we like our sabers a little thick. And the Ghost is in the Battle of Exegol, so that might be Jason. Oh, actually, I want to bring up that point. So, anybody who hasn't seen Rebels has no idea who Jason Syndulla is. They have no idea. Yeah, exactly. That actually would be really cool. I do remember seeing the Ghost in the Battle of Exegol. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That would be cool. And maybe Hera's still around. Who knows? Iden Versio was around in the events of the sequels, and she was right about Hera's age during that time period. So who knows? Maybe Hera and Hera's still alive, and she and Jason were piloting the Ghost. Shoot, maybe Zeb. We don't know Lasat lifespans. Like, there's so much cool stuff that they could touch on that, especially when it comes to the sequel era, because there's so many characters we just don't know the fate of. Like, we don't know the fate of Mandu, Mandu, Mando, Grogu. Boba Fett. We don't know what happens to Boba Fett. Fennec. Hera, Zeb, Kanan. Or no, actually, we know Kanan. What happens to Kanan? He gets kabooshed. Ezra, Sabine, Bo-Katan. There's so much stories that they're going to be able to tell now because of all these wonderful, rich characters that have never appeared in a movie. So that's all the point I wanted to really make with this episode. It's going to be kind of a shorter one because we're kind of losing steam real quick. But before we get going, I wanted to definitely touch on some news and rumors real quick. We talked about this before the show, but for those of you who aren't terminally online, all right. So a lot of people think Cal's appearing in Kenobi, which could be a good idea. But I love Fallen Order movie. Okay, I actually disagree with this. I actually disagree with this, Callahan, and here's why. I do not want to see Cal Kestis appear in Kenobi because when you watch Rebels and you see how Ezra approaches Obi-Wan on Tatooine, Obi-Wan's kind of annoyed. He's kind of like, "You're in the wrong place, Ezra Bridger," and he's like, "You have come where you never should have," because he's like, Obi-Wan has one goal at this time: protect Luke. He doesn't give a crap about the Jedi. He doesn't give a crap about the Sith. He doesn't care about what's going on in the galaxy at large. All he cares about is protecting Luke. So, like, we don't need every Jedi Padawan to, like, make a special trip to see old Ben Kenobi on Tatooine, because that just raises so many questions of, like, okay, if this character knows he's here, how did nobody find him? Like how did nobody find him? Like, and that's something that I know Kenobi's going to answer. Like, how did nobody, like, find him after all those years? And, like, obviously, Kenobi's no dummy. He survived through being smart and, like, playing his cards right. So I have no doubt they're going to address how, like, the Inquisitors and stuff, like, stop looking for him. But I don't want Cal to appear in Kenobi. I think that would take away from the story of Obi-Wan. I agree with this. And not a movie version of Fallen Order, but a new adventure. I don't want him in Kenobi. I want a Cal Kestis solo adventure movie. Honestly, a Cal Kestis movie would be cool, but I would prefer him in a show, to be honest. Like, I want there to be a show. It can be animated if you have to, but I would love to see an animated show about Luke Skywalker, post Book of Boba Fett, establishing his Jedi Order, whether it be him meeting with Ahsoka or, maybe have a little bit of training of Grogu in there and you get animated Mando for like 30 seconds. To see an animated show showing Luke Skywalker building up his Jedi Order. All we've gotten from that are a couple comics. Like, we've got, I think it's not The Rise of Kylo Ren, but there's a couple Star Wars comics that show, like, Luke Skywalker and his new Jedi Order, but it's very, like, few and far between. So there's so much you could do with that I think if they wanted to, they could really do something great with that. Hi, we got somebody join on TikTok. Not sure how to pronounce your username, but hello there. Welcome to the live. We are Under the Helmet Podcast, currently streaming live on YouTube. If you want to come join us there, come give us a hello there. But yeah, with that being said, we're talking about Star Wars and how Star Wars is so much more than just the movies. But I just think there's so much more to Star Wars than that's just in the movies. And the reason this topic came up is because I had this conversation with my friend, the one I mentioned in the intro, who asked me about, what order do you rewatch the movies? And he's like, yeah, that way I can get the full story. I was like, well, you're not really getting the full story because there's this, or that, and that. And there's like so much more to it. And he was like, yeah, dude, but like, don't be a dick about it. I'm like, I kind of, but also there's so much more to Star Wars than what's just in the movies. And if you take anything away from this podcast, anything away from this show, this episode, there is so much more to Star Wars than what's just in the movies. And hey, if you're a Star Wars fan and you like the movies and you're finding this for the first time, watch some of the shows. Send us a DM and like let us know and like, hey, what should I watch? And we'll point you in the right direction because at the end of the day, we want to build a community of people who are fans and people who enjoy this stuff as much as we do. Because at the end of the day, we're just people, we're just fans having fun and talking about stuff that we love. And I love Star Wars. I've loved it ever since I was like 2 or 3 years old. I ain't going anywhere. This fandom is, it has its moments. It definitely has its moments. But I love it. I love the discourse. I love the passion that people have. And if we can point that passion in the right direction to almost say signal boost what we love. And at the end of the day, go, I may not like the sequels. Let's say I'll use it as an example. I may not like the sequels, but I have this burning passion for the prequels, and this is kind of a true situation for me where I'm not the biggest fan of the sequels, but I adore the prequels. And at the end of the day, if I don't like the sequels, I can just not watch them. I can just not consume that content. But I know why I love the prequels. I have this burning enjoyment for the prequels. So I'm going to go through and say, hey, I may not understand why you like this, but I know you like it and I respect you as a fan. And that's all that we need to do as fans. And this is the same thing between canon and Legends. Hey, I like canon more than Legends. But I would never disrespect a Legends fan for being like, Darth Bane's the greatest thing ever. Darth Bane's pretty cool. If you see some of his feats, he's pretty cool. Like, there are some pretty cool Sith and Legends that are brought up that, like, would it break canon to kind of see them? Maybe. But would it be cool to, like, give those people that validation of seeing a character that they love made canon? Yeah. Are there some aspects of Legends I don't personally like? Yeah. But at the end of the day, some people might love Darth Nihilus and his like sucking up a whole planet. If that's what you enjoy, enjoy it. Watch what makes you happy at the end of the day. And I think that is something we need to get to as a fandom. Is just say, hey, I have found something that makes me happy, and I want to share that happiness with others. I think if we do that, the world and this fandom will be a much better place. So now I'm going to get off my soapbox real quick. I'm going to go on, if I can get my mouse over here, pull up a banner. We're going to talk very quickly news and rumors. Not a whole lot of Star Wars news this week. Not a whole lot of news in general. Or I'm just not looking in the right places, which could be entirely possible. But Eli and I did mention this in the pre-show that I wanted to bring up. Shout out to Daisy Ridley back on Instagram, back on social media. Shout out to our girl, Rey Skywalker. Stay mad about it. I was like, one minute I'm like, oh, we should be loving and tolerating of each other, and we can make this fandom a better place. Rey Skywalker, stay mad about it. The two sides of Dylan, the duality of man. But no, it is great to see Daisy Ridley back on Instagram. I actually have her minifig right here. Shout out Rey, Force Awakens Rey right here. Shout out to Daisy Ridley. Missed you. Glad you're back on social media. And I hope you stay because it's so great seeing you back and seeing you looking happy and healthy and posting artwork that you could have posted over quarantine. Honestly, mad respect, mad shout out to Daisy Ridley. Welcome back. And then that's pretty much it. Not much else is going on. So I want to all right, so shout out Daisy Ridley. Also, switch up fig of the day. Eli showed his fig of the day. I showed my Phase 2 Rex figure. I'll flash it over for TikTok as well. Phase 2 Rex right here. He does not look good. There we go. Got a little bit of lighting on him now. Phase 2 Rex right over here. But also, I had a couple I wanted to bring up because these are characters that are Eli mentions Republic Commando, so I want to pull up Boss right here. Custom minifig, Republic Commando Boss. Just a really clean, cool looking fig. He also has a Black Series figure that's out. So if you're trying to get a cool Black Series and you want a Republic Commando, there is a boss out right now. Take his head off, take his helmet off. He's got a cool little face underneath. Same thing to TikTok. Got my little Lego minifigure here. This is Boss from Republic Commando. I don't know if you can see him all that good. That's why you got to come join us on YouTube. Here's a little Boss minifig. Actually, hold on. Can I check? Oh, I unplugged my ring light. Whoopsie daisy. Well, yeah, I unplugged my ring light, so that's not going to help. But here's Boss. And then I also wanted to mention another character I really enjoy is Gregor. One of my favorite commandos. Clone Commando Gregor in one of my least favorite Clone Wars arcs. But hey, he's a cool character. I thought he died, but he didn't because Star Wars has a problem with killing people. Alright, but there we go. Commander Gregor. Take off his helmet. He's got a nice little smiley face underneath. There we are. We got Gregor. Show him the TikTok as well. What's up? What's up, TikTok? Boo, 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 boo. Alrighty. But with that being said, thank you to everybody who came out tonight. Shout out to Eli. Hope you got your situation handled on the other end. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining us here at another episode of the most disorganized podcast on the internet, Under the Helmet Podcast. Don't forget, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss all of our videos. Remember, we go live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Don't forget to catch us this Thursday coming up for our next episode on our Moon Knights series, where we're going to be talking Moon Knight. Brick Spectre is going to be coming back. It's going to be a great time. So, to that being said, thank you so much. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a great one. And we'll see you next time we go Under the Helmet. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy. May the Force be with you.